Welcome back to the Oblivious Maximus podcast for another episode. I'm one of the hosts, Aaron Osborne. With me, as of the last two episodes, critically acclaimed co-host, Otis. Welcome back.
I'm back yet again. Back by popular demand.
People be loving you in the comments.
It's crazy, right?
You know,
I think to myself every night, who wants to listen to me talk for an hour or however long? See how long we last anyway.
4 to 5 Australian hardcore friends.
Yeah, all my friends that are gassing me up in the comments.
Speaking of your friends, our guest today is Pablo. Yay!
Pablo.
What's up, everyone?
Pablo,
Welcome to the pod.
From the band AWOL, your band.
From Otis's band AWOL.
From Otis's band AWOL. And also Extortion music video.
That's right, yeah.
First person to ever get Extortion to make a music video.
30-second music video director.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I remember when I asked you to do that, the whole reason I wanted to do it in my head was because, this will be dope as hell because it can be an Instagram reel. The whole song.
It's a perfect music video. Like if you've like ours was what, like 3 minutes or so, or two and a half. And we were like, fuck, man, how are we going to fill out that time? Like 30 seconds?
30 seconds?
Beautiful.
It's, Extortion's music is made for reels, man.
Yeah, truly. And when I, going back and forth with you on the cuts was like, I thought it was pretty easy. And then Milky was like, I want this, and this. And I was like, I'm not doing this, man. You can just talk to Pablo yourself.
Yeah, we had a long thread about that. He had some good ideas though. It turned out pretty well. A lot of it was like, make sure you get my shoe in it.
He was very focused
rocking the polos
on his polo shoes.
Oh, fuck yeah. You got to get that in
looking
there.
fresh, so yeah.
Got to represent.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Let's start off. Hard-hitting questions. How did you two meet each other? Let's go. What's your memory? You just said you had a bad memory, so.
Yeah. I don't actually remember when I met Otis.
I do.
I actually don't remember. I think it was at a Phoenix Youth Center show, or was it before that?
Well,
Gotta get some liquid death.
let me get the memory juice in me. Okay. So I guess similar to how I met Maddo, like we didn't really meet, but we were aware. So what happened was one of my first bands went to Sydney to play, and Pablo was living in America at the time, and our mutual friend was told us, when you guys are in Sydney, my friend's gonna try and make it to the show. Like we met in America. He's from Newcastle or whatever. Sydney, Newcastle. Yeah, whatever. Somewhere there. And anyway, so we're playing the show. Like I haven't seen him yet. Like it's my first time playing interstate. So we're playing, the breakdown hits, and we just see this guy come out of nowhere and start moshing, and we're like, what the fuck? And then we were like, oh fuck, that's Pablo. And then I don't think he met anyone. I think he just did moshed and then left.
Now I do remember. Yeah, it was at a really small venue in Newtown. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was the worst show ever, man. Like it was the most.
What was the band?
It was my first band was called Blinded. It's a metalcore band.
Yeah.
Hardcore metalcore band.
Yeah.
We'll
script logo.
Yeah, script logo.
I definitely saw you.
We'll bring them back that.
I have never connected that you were in that band.
That was him.
I know. It's yeah, you had to be there really. I guess it was during the Great Hardcore Depression.
And Pablo was.
Depression,
Yeah. But like it's funny thinking back now because I'm like, it's funny that the first time I saw you, you were moshing, but like, I don't picture you as a mosher. Like I know you mosh every now and then, but it's like I felt like. I don't know.
I feel like that's a weird introduction because I'm not moshing at every show.
Yeah,
I'm not going crazy to like every single band.
But it was dope. I remember I feel like you just were a bit like you're going crazy, and I remember like just seeing you like full like slog someone or whatever, and the guy was like, oh whatever, and then the singer was like, Pablo.
I literally I think I went and said hi to the singer and was like, yeah, we have mutual friends, whatever, and then I was out, and then like. And
actually before that, I think I went somewhere to like check because you were moving back. I went to me, Akira, went to went to look at an apartment or something like that for you, and we went and we were just like, oh, this is
that's
not
how
a good place for this guy we've never met. Like,
Yeah, you went to a house inspection for me.
Yeah, that's right.
That was crazy. I was like, I'm moving to Melbourne. Can you go check this place out? Yeah.
Why did you live in America?
After I finished uni, I went on like a working holiday thing.
Okay.
Yeah, just like working in film and stuff over there.
Yeah, true.
And then moved back from that pretty much straight to Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But in the brief, like, I guess few weeks while I was still in Sydney before moving to Melbourne is when I would have moshed to Blinded at that show. Yeah.
Well, it's a great intro to one another. And then obviously fast friends by way of going and looking for a house.
Yeah, well, I think like with a lot of things, I was just dragged along. Like I was like, oh, I'm here. Like
Just
sweet.
participating.
Also funny to trust his opinion on where I should live.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but there was something.
Were you living outside of home at that point? Or
Nah.
Guys never rented.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. I was just there.
You were just.
I was
okay.
just there.
No, it was very.
But even I knew that spot was not good for my bro that I've never met.
It was a great spot. The agent was just really dodgy.
Yeah,
and I remember them like warning me, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this.
Can't be doing that. So what sort of film stuff were you working on in the States? Like when doing
nothing
it?
good.
Just
nothing good. I was doing like the shit kicker jobs on set, like production assistant, edit assistant on like, you know, when you go on Netflix and you scroll through and there's like
just some
so
movie.
many, just
You've
movies.
never heard of?
Like,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
just
Damn,
never
bro,
heard of
you
them.
made it to Netflix. That's pretty fucking dope.
I don't know. If there are my one claim to fame is that there was a HBO show that James Franco was on that I was like the production assistant on.
Oh,
So,
true.
like,
There you go.
yeah, that was like
Cancelled now. Unfortunate.
cancelled now. Yeah, for good reason. But yeah, that was like.
But you got in there.
But I got in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I did that for a while, and then it was just basically like almost part of my studies essentially, and then just came back
And so where did you grow up?
in Sydney. In Sydney.
Not
I
in
grew up in
Newcastle,
like
as
I grew up between Western Sydney and the Central Coast.
Okay.
So my dad is in Western Sydney, my mum's on the Central Coast, and I would just like move between their two houses wherever they happen to be living at the time, but always moving around as like migrants do.
Yes.
You know, looking for work, shit like that. So yeah.
And when did, other than moshing to Blinded, what was the intro to hardcore for you?
For me, it would have been, I reckon when I was about 15, I was in year 9 or 10 and Parkway Drive came to my town. And I think it was like the All Ages Assault Tour. So I think I went to see that, not even really knowing who it was. Like, I guess I was listening to punk mostly at the time. I liked Green Day like everyone else at the time. And then got into like Rancid and Bad Religion and all that stuff. And then, I guess like kids at my high school were like, this is happening. Everyone was really excited about it. Like,
You gotta go.
you gotta come. man.
Check these guys
If you're
out.
a somewhat alternate kid, you gotta be there.
Yeah. And so, I went along with some kids that I was friends with at high school, and that was it. And then from there, just more metalcore shows like that, which I ended up getting exposed to like hardcore bands through that, and then that was it.
And then the Blinded Pit.
And then
Did you go to anything?
I feel like there's a big gap between there because like
it
it doesn't go Parkway Drive to Blinded. We were trying to bring that back a little bit.
Those are the two
Failed,
greats of,
but
of Australian metalcore. Parkway
you go
Drive
from the
and
Parkway Pit to the Blinded Pit, brother.
You're selling yourself short, man. Someone probably reckons that.
Maybe not.
But in the States, did you get any exposure to that while you were over there? Was that an opportunity to get involved with that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think in the States, I left Australia in like 2014.
Okay.
And then was in America like 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
During that time was like the boom of like all the reunions and all the
Okay.
So I got to see like some really big shows, which was cool because when I had left, Australian shows weren't not as big as maybe they had been.
Yeah.
I got to see like all kinds of great bands, the American Nightmare reunion, stuff like that.
Yeah, sick. That's awesome.
We would normally have the LP here, but
It's over there.
Oh,
You might get sued. Did you see he's
Oh man, that rocks.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's gonna get like 300 grand or something.
Well, I think his ask is like 500.
what happened?
So Wes is suing WWE because I think a wrestler, Cody Rhodes, has like
His,
started using American Nightmare as his thing, but Wes owns the license,
name.
the name.
Yeah.
And like the specifics of it are like he owns the brand American Nightmare for like he was like pretty smart with how he did it. It's like for like music, entertainment, merchandising, like he owns it for those purposes. And his argument is that WWE started making all this merch that doesn't say Cody Rhodes on it. It just says American Nightmare. And then like he's got a big tattoo on his neck and it's just the tattoo on his neck.
Bro, he's cleaning up. Well, he's taken out Fall Out Boy. Like, now he's gone WWE. Like,
this
good on him.
motherfucker's
litigious. But they changed the name, didn't they? Like, how does...
Well, I think didn't American Nightmare get like sued or whatever for the name originally, and that's why they changed the name.
Yeah,
changed back.
So he's just going for blood now. He's like, I've got back what's mine, taking it back.
Go for it.
He's got to get it.
Damn, respect.
I don't want to name names, but they obviously toured Australia a million years ago. And a friend of mine from Canberra who's very good at music went to Give Up the Ghost when they played here. And I think to this day, he still is like, that's the worst band I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
He was like, they were terrible. Like, he was like, I didn't get the hype. Didn't get why everyone was wearing the hoodies.
They look awesome.
I mean, it's a great hoodie.
Great hoodie.
Yeah. I'm sure Pablo had one of them back in the
Absolutely.
day. The zip up.
What's your stance on zip hoods presently?
Dude, I want to bring it back.
I've got one in my bag. But I
think they're coming back.
I've dressed the same the whole time.
I've said, I was like, I want to do a zip hoodie. And everyone went silent in the chat. And I was like, all right, cool.
So I existed as a band during like
you exist.
the zip hoodie boom.
Yeah.
So we were cleaning up on zip hoods.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm pretty sure like, actually, you know what we can talk about right now?
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
we can tell the story in Akira's absence. Akira was very upset. Like the second we finished recording, he was like, oh, fuck. I had this story to tell about an I Exist hoodie.
Yeah. Oh, so, yeah, something.
Do you know the story in greater detail?
So like, picture this, right? Like Akira's like new, like sort of fresh into hardcore. He needs the get up. So he's looking at merch, like he's looking around and he goes, oh, I Exist. Like I'll get that. So he ordered it to his house. Like he also got like, I think it was a 50 lines, like whatever it was.
And he's straight edge as.
He's straight edge as, like
couldn't be more
unbelievably edge. Straight edge. And so he buys this I Exist t-shirt or hoodie or whatever it is.
It was a hoodie.
It was a hoodie.
And it's just a big block logo on the front. And I can picture why he was confused. The block logo on the front is all green. And I think with a cursory look, it would have just looked like a green logo. If you zoom in, all the green is like weed leaves.
Yeah.
And then the back, it just says overgrown and it's just weed leaves all up the back.
So he gets it and he's just like, oh, what the fuck? I can't wear this. Like, I just became straight edge. Like, and now, like, did I just break by buying this? Like,
oh, no.
And then I think his other story was that he bought like 50 Lions merch or something, probably with his mum's credit card or something, and it just never arrived.
Oscar just stitched him up.
Or he was just too afraid to be like, oh, where's my shirt?
I would have never done that.
Yeah.
No way.
Nah, bro. Like, I feel like people now, they will send you a message.
Oh my
merch
God.
in the day. Back in the day, you would fucking just be like, nah.
Brother.
Yeah.
I'm never getting that.
I do all the merch for AWOL and we get messages like that all the time.
You should be in a little band called Extortion and deal with the absolute mutants that want to send us emails. Sorry to all the mutants out there who send us emails. I appreciate you for listening to the band, but leave us the fuck alone. Please.
You get the, like, they don't get it the next day and they're just like, hey, I'm just wondering if I'm going to get this. If not, like, I'll just get a refund. It's like,
refund,
bro. Like, what the fuck? Like,
we're in the position now where we're asking people for if they want a refund.
Yeah, okay.
Because we're getting like things posted back like 3 times.
Because it never arrives to the...
Or they've put the wrong address in. Or I think actually what is the biggest problem, this isn't actually Extortion fans' fault. It's Australia Post is like the worst industry / body in the world, and it cannot send anything anywhere. But yeah, German Extortion fans, real love an email.
Dude,
we should have
a segment
fans ever going to listen to this.
On the next episode, we should have a segment of you reading out every German Extortion fan.
God, it'll be good. So aside from alienating the audience of one of the bands I'm in, so when did so what bands were in pre-AWOL? You were in Cage Existence, right?
Yeah, I was in Caged Existence before that.
Yeah.
And then before that was like quite a long break while I was overseas and whatnot. And then I was in like a few hyper local bands as a teenager.
That's standard
that
for
we
all
won't
of us.
name, but so that was the main one, but yeah.
And was Cage Existence the first band to like proper do stuff for you?
Yeah, pretty much. It was the first band to tour, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And so where does AWOL come in then for you? Because AWOL, obviously, as we discussed, was like a band before you as well.
Yeah.
It's a band before everybody.
It was. The inception of AWOL was Mike and Christian, really. I guess during COVID, bored, wanting to do something.
Yeah.
And so they had just started writing. I think, me and Mike are like neighbors. He lives like at the end of my street, basically.
Wow.
So we see each other all the time. And obviously during that time, it was like a 5K radius or whatever.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Fucking leave the house or whatever. So we would hang out or whatever. They brought me in at that point and we're like, oh, we're thinking of doing this thing. Like Christian's got a bunch of music that he's written. It kind of started from there. And it wasn't too long after that I feel like Otis joined, or that we asked Otis to join.
I can't remember.
It was definitely in there.
I think I was recording, and I think because I was helping them do the recording. And I had this, I think I had a weird feeling like when they were doing it, I'm like I was kind of, I was like, oh, this is cool. And I was helping them out with some things and like whatever, like they were asking my opinion on bits or whatever. And then after it was kind of like, oh, well, we may need another guitarist. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. I've helped with this. Like I already know all the songs or whatever. Like, but they pretty much had a lot of it good to go.
Yeah.
For the first shit. Yeah.
And where does, so you've gone overseas and worked in film stuff. That becomes like your day job. When does that start becoming tied in with music shit for you?
Probably when I moved to Melbourne as well. I just started, I don't really know why. I guess because I wasn't moshing as hard as I was to blind into every band.
Dude, this guy fucking documented the Great Depression of hardcore. He pretty much filmed every set.
That's right. Yeah, you can go back and see all those like small room at Phoenix shows.
Well, I didn't realize until like many moons after you and I had met that you were the guy who was putting up those videos. Like I didn't know that was you.
That was me.
That's pretty cool. Like you're standing side of stage, no one even knows. Your camera's in the way.
I think I started doing that. Yeah, pretty shortly after I moved to Melbourne.
Yeah.
It was just something to do at shows, and shows were small. But it was just a way of like, it was in a new city. It was a way of like getting involved and meeting new people and stuff like that. So I documented the great hardcore depression, I guess.
Hey, someone had to do it. Yeah. And now it's on the internet.
Yeah.
Now you can go see how bad some of the shows were.
Or how good they were, because you just weren't there,
Yeah.
But did it start, so when did it start blending into doing like music video stuff? Was that from like Speed and things like that, or was that
pretty
much later?
To be honest, yeah. I mean, like I was always doing edits, like live edits for people and stuff like that, and just like never really.
I feel like you were pretty much doing it before. I
was pretty much doing it. But but I think, the speed ones are obviously like the biggest ones.
Yeah. But you hadn't done any other, like, just by way of working on like a film job, you hadn't done a music video for someone else.
I hadn't really like made music videos before. No, like I've done like film work, but it's all been documentary stuff, like whatever, like journalism type stuff. And so like for fun on the weekends when I went to shows, I would take my camera as well and film shows, just like because I had the gear and whatever. It was a good way of hanging out. It wasn't until Speed that like I worked on a music video really. Before that, it was all other shit. And just like live edits for people and like clips and stuff like that people needed for promo and shit like that. Yeah.
Well, I remember when we were talking about doing the Extortion one, I guess like obviously the band had never done a music video before, and none of them. Two of the guys are really. They've been in lots of other bands, but like none of their bands would suit making a music video. And Milky is obviously younger, and he had not been in bands that had made like a music video other than just cobbled together live footage or whatever. And I have been in bands that have done them, and they've been like stupid as hell. But I like know how they are made, and I've been around for making them, and I know people who do it. And so I was like, their mindset on what a music video needed to be or could be was so much different from what my experience of it was. And I remember I was like, in my head, I was like, the only way I'm going to be able to sell this properly is if I get someone I actually know who, one, has worked on actual music videos like the Speed ones, but also I know well enough to be able to say to him like, hey man, these guys think they need the world, and the song goes for 30 seconds. Because I don't know, at the time, Milky was like, there's no way we're getting this done in under 2 days. And I was like, 2 days?
Brother, it's
you're not going to be able
30 minutes and we're good.
You're not going to be able to play drums after 30 goes at it. And sure enough, when we were there, he was like, I don't think he realized like how many times you have to play.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. Particularly when you're a drummer and you're playing what he's playing in Extortion, which is just blast beats the whole time. And I was like, how did you ever think you were going to do this for 2 days?
Like, I did it in like half a day.
Yeah. Honestly.
And also I was pretty hungover because the night before we were out.
We were sending it that night before.
I was hungover too. And we definitely finished early enough that I could go to trivia at the pub. So we were done by 2 p.m. That's for sure what the time we were finished.
It's hard though with like music videos with like hardcore music because I feel like no one really wants to do it. Or it's like everyone's very sort of like they don't want to put themselves on display like that.
Yeah. And it's kind of like promo photos. Like promo photos they're a necessary evil. Like, again, that's the thing that Extortion does not have a promo photo. Like, it's all just live photos. And I think we get a pass as a band because the band is known as like this like old power violence band. Like, so it's fine. But I mean, I've had shit in the past with not having a promo photo means like people will straight up not put your song on the internet. Yeah. Like no one will do any help you unless you have a fucking dumb photo of yourself. But again, like, I think the reality is like, well, one, you just have to get over it and understand like the way people consume media or content now requires you to put this stuff out like that. And I think the funny sell with the Extortion one in particular is like, as I said at the start, like the song goes for 30 seconds. This is a perfect way to put this on the internet without like, we don't have to do anything dumb. It just has to be the band playing and then it's on Instagram and people will see the song, you know?
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
You're exactly right. It's just a promo photo.
Yeah. Really. It's just a promo photo, basically.
Yeah. Don't take it too seriously.
No.
It's content, you know, people get to look at it and be like, oh, cool. Like,
and then, I mean, I obviously appreciate like when we did that with you, you had like, I don't know if it was like weeks earlier done the big Speed one.
Yep.
Which has like literal they're acting in it and they're like it's a film, they're movies.
It's the movie, bro.
It's the movie, yeah. But also I should say
it's Rudzy and Tomo who made that.
Yeah.
I was like moving lights around and
No,
like
but
carrying shit in and out.
You worked on it. You were a participant. But this is what I mean. Like, there's a stark difference between us effectively standing in the same spot, playing the song 30 times over, and you just moving around the room, to actively planning out like a storyboard for a.
Yeah, changing locations and whatever. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a completely different thing. Yeah.
Well, when we were doing ours, it was like interesting to watch. Like, and I don't know how you felt about it, but like Tomo was doing it all, but then like Pablo was there, like
so was he
directing kind of while we were doing it, and it was sort of interesting to see like.
You're the Ben Affleck of Australian hardcore. You're on screen. You're directing.
Like, make me, Tomo, make sure you get my fucking headbang in, but also like move the lighting just a little bit so it's shining in a way that we look like gods. And
that's it.
It worked,
It worked, 100%.
Yeah, how was that? What do you think about
the AWOL stuff? I think it's cool. Yeah, I think like you say, it's like something that no one really wants to do ever, like a music video. And so I guess we just wanted to do something that was simple and just like, what you're saying, like it was just a promo photo really. It's just like, this is the band. It's like the record's coming out on like an American label. We want to introduce ourselves to people in a way that like makes sense. And so we're just like, all right, let's just play the songs in a room and just like, whatever. Like, and that's what we did for Extortion as well. I think that's all,
And I mean, I think the other thing too is that like, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it because not that I don't do it, because I do, but like a lot of people get pretty much everything that they like from YouTube now. Like they watch everything on there. They listen to music on there. They're doing all this shit on there.
Yes, I do.
This guy,
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like when I go home, unless I know I want to watch something that's on a streaming platform or whatever, my TV literally does not have free-to-air TV. So the only thing I can watch is YouTube. That is like the way to access this stuff. And I am not personally a like podcast viewer, although I am facilitating that by doing this.
Hopefully other people are.
Actually, no, people are. Thank you so much for watching. Views are going up. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe.
Shout out Liquid Death.
Thank you.
And
Audio Technica. Thank you for the free stuff. Appreciate it. But like, so people will feasibly hear your band for the first time because it's on there. And I remember at the time, like the conversation point with Extortion around the YouTube was like when we first came back was like, we got to start filming our shows. Because all the footage of Extortion that's on YouTube is like dog shit and from 20 years ago. So it's like a horrible reflection of what the band is now to see this footage from like when the band was a completely different band. And also the video is terrible. The audio is terrible. So like we have to start improving that. The only way to do that is like to contribute to it ourselves. And I remember someone saying like, oh, it's pretty funny like asking people to film your show. I'm like, well, unless someone like you who is actively going out there going to do it anyway, if you don't ask, then you are just going to get some like dog shit video.
Yeah, well, that's mostly what it is now. And I've kind of gone 180 where it's like I only do it now when people ask me to, because I feel like it's almost gone like 180 where now there's like 5 people filming.
Yeah.
Everyone gets their phones out or whatever. And so it's like, if you want it done well and professionally, and people ask me to, I will. But for the most part, I feel like it's going to get covered by someone.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to do one where it was just like all Instagram stories. And it's like very obvious, like, oh, they've just like, there's like 3 shows and it's like the screen is this and it's just, I feel like that would be a mad
Does
a terrible idea.
Does AWOL have a song that is the same song every time that gets filmed? Like after you play a show and you're getting tagged in stories.
Yeah.
What's the song? Like what's the bit for you guys?
There's a couple now actually. But
it was the end of the set.
Yeah, it was the last song for a while, but we stopped playing that. Now I reckon it's probably Who You Were.
Yeah.
The last couple of times we've played. Yeah.
So that's the thing that we've been having. Like, I mean, even like a much lesser band, but like Aglo, I'm getting every time I play, it's the same like 2 bits, and like I could fully make a music video out of just like,
dude, it would be dope. Just like full, just like with the people's names in it and shit. Like that's like a
giving their content a gas up too. Like,
go on, someone do it. Take my idea. But I feel like with music videos and stuff like that, like being in a band or whatever, it's like a little bit kind of like, I don't know if I want to put myself out there like that. Like maybe also even like doing a podcast, you're a bit like, oh, I don't want to be on the show. But like for other people, they just see that as like, wow, this is cool. Like I found a new band. Like they're not looking at it like.
I think it's different.
Like
I think, at one point it might have been like an embarrassing thing to do or something. But now it's just what you have to do.
I mean, I think the other thing too is that like, I know obviously there are people out there who are very shy and don't like doing things like that. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, if you play shows and you stand on a stage in front of people, like there's some part of you that is dying for attention. Like there's some part of you that's like, I need someone to look at me. And like, I know as much as like, I hate to admit it, like that is me for sure. Like I love holding court. Like you two have participated in this, no doubt. Like 2 beers at the pub, I'm like, that's my dream location where I can just bark stories at a group of people.
Like, gather around, children. Let me tell you about the time at the
like honestly, and I think that's kind of why I started doing teaching. It's kind of like it was always, I can be at the front and people will have to look at me. Like that's what all this stuff is at the end of the day.
That's what this is too.
So thank you everybody for watching me do that right now.
Yeah.
And listening to me in your car. No, but like I think, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that like where it has come to from where, back in the day, music videos were like like the Korn music videos directed by like the guy who made the Charlie's Angels movie, and like they spent like.
And now Pablo's doing it.
Yeah, that's just me. The quality's just going like this, man.
And it's 30 seconds. Back then it was like 40 minutes.
Fuck for technology giving us 4K cameras.
Thank God, yeah.
But like, they came from a time where you could get like millions of dollars spent on a video, and now like quite literally anyone could make them if they, at least put their mind to it.
You don't. It's cool to have the money to do it, but you can really make whatever you want. Like, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
manipulate anything on the, like you get some AI shit in there and fucking.
Oh man,
I don't know how you feel about that, Pablo, but like,
yeah, go for it.
Go get some AI in there,
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. Some I can't remember. A band recently did like AI album art, AI music video, AI this, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? Like, stop that!" No, like
AI music.
No, not music, but just a video. So like all the like
our next shit's gonna be AI.
Yeah, we should just AI it.
Yeah. All the visual content for the album was just AI, and someone called him out. The guy was like, I can't remember who it was, but he was like, "You fucking pay for it." Like that was the response. Like, you want to pay for it?
Yeah.
Like, okay, man. Like that.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah,
that's the defense.
Money, man.
Shit does cost money, but AI, like he just typed it into Meta, and
I guess,
that's terrible.
Pablo's got some good AI fucking pics on his phone. Maybe you can get some of them out, man.
I'll show you a gallery later. It's really amazing. It's amazing.
That's for the
technology
Patreon.
can do.
So, yeah. Subscribe to Patreon.
Patreon. Do you use the Meta in the like Instagram chat
all the time, brother?
Yeah,
probably. You should see the last ride chat. It's a fucking. Monkey boss like bashing like I don't know. It's just Matto, the monkey boss.
Well, good on him for keeping it together on the AI.
The day they changed that, it was crazy. I feel like it was when our album came out because we were just going crazy on it.
It was just it was weird. It got weird.
Oh yeah.
But as like everything else, it's like it's done now, kind of.
We got over it. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we can create whatever we want. At the touch of a button.
I think we made everything. Like everything you could be made.
Yeah, we literally made everything.
You've done all of it.
Yeah. We did Monkey Boss and we were like, can't get much better.
And you'd be lying if you didn't,
All right. I've got my laptop here for a reason.
Yep.
We, in the last episode, we, with the Monkey Boss present, advertised the Oblivious Maximus voicemail function, which...
Are we about to speak some pipe or?
Maybe. Yeah. Let's speak pipe.
Speaking pipe with Aaron Otis and Solo.
So we're about to speak pipe here. So I'm going to preface this by saying that as I can only assume, I could have called it from the get-go that the second I put that on the internet, I was going to get a lot of bullshit. Now, I'm going to start laying some ground rules. I will happily play your bullshit on the show. But one, it's either got to be funny enough to make it worthwhile, or two, it has to have your name on it, because boy, did I get a lot of just fart noises with no name attached.
I think you need to say, hey, this is so-and-so, and this is my question. Hey, this is so-and-so, and I'm about to speak some pipe.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then it could be whatever you want.
And then it can be the sound of air escaping your asshole.
Yeah. We welcome that.
But you got to own it. You got to own it. I just want to know whose bum it is.
Yeah. Whose pipe it is.
Whose rear pipe it is. All right. So I'll play. Hopefully this works audio-wise. I assume it will. But I'm going to play. We got one actual question, and then I've just got two other ones that I thought were funny. So I'm going to play the two funny ones first. So here's the first one. This is for the group.
Hey, Oblivious, it's Joe Rogan. I'd love to have you guys on the podcast to talk about that good kush.
So thanks, Joe Rogan, for tuning in.
Dude, Joe.
That's a bit of AI.
Joe.
That's topical.
No, that's Joe.
That's
I think
that
he
is
wants you on the podcast.
That is Joe.
Dude, is this my fucking shot to take it all? We're about to be big, mate.
This
I'm
is it.
going on the
This is
JRE.
Don't ignore that one.
I won't ignore that one. I got to play that. I can only say that I think Joe Rogan is one of the biggest fuckheads alive. So
you should debate him. You should debate him on the pod, dude.
But I'd love to talk to him about good kush because, kush dope as hell.
That's something you know about.
That's something I know about.
As a kush man yourself.
As a kushman, I don't mind. All right, here's the second one.
G'day, Darren from Wagga. Christ, it's bloody bright in here. Can you turn down the chip machine?
So have either of you heard the turn down the chip machine story?
No. Dude, what is that? What was that? Darren from Wagga?
Sounds like he's in trouble, man.
Dude, he's speaking pipe.
He's speaking pipe.
A different type of pipe, but...
But it's just an excuse for me to... This is purely an excuse for me to tell you a holding court story that I've definitely told in this podcast before.
Let it rip.
But it's funny. So have you ever heard of the black metal band Wolves in the Throne Room?
No.
Okay.
Sadly, I have not.
They were like a modern death black metal band that were like kind of hipsters. Like they, like Death Heaven, that band, kind of
not like Dimmu Borgir or something.
No,
Right.
they. I mean, yes, but then they leaned hipster, if that makes sense. Like
trendy black metal, not like
trendy black metal. Yeah,
not like I've got a corpse under my bed.
Correct.
Type shit.
Yeah. I haven't murdered somebody.
Yeah.
I Exist played with them in Canberra, and they played at the Basement, which I don't know if you've been to the Basement in Canberra, but it is simply a pub.
Is that the legendary venue?
Yeah. It's like where every big show
is. There one? Was there one that was Numbers?
Bar 32.
Bar 32.
Also a legendary venue.
I've heard from some Canberra people.
But the Basement, still a venue, still shows all the time. Wolves in Throne Room playing. We get there for like sound check. It's sunny outside. The boys are in there getting, funny garb on. They're like setting up candles and lighting candles while the sun's outside. And they're like checking everything. And I guess in hindsight, it makes sense. They're like checking the lights to make sure the lights worked for the candle arrangement they had. Anyway, they're like sound checking, doing stuff. And then the guy was like only talking in black metal voice. Like he was like giving instructions, like, like vocals up, like just that the whole time.
He kept it going.
Yeah. And then at one point they got all the lights off. And he just goes onto the mic and just goes, "Turn off the chip machine." Because it was like illuminating the entire venue. Because it was
Chip machine.
the chip dispenser, like a Coke machine. And he was
vending machine.
a vending machine, yeah.
Oh, turn off the chip machine.
Turn off the
It's
chip
killing his
machine.
vibe, yeah.
And it was like the 6 members of I Exist were all just like immediately like texting every person we knew, like, "Oh, you're not gonna believe this."
Dude,
Like,
turn off the chip machine.
Turn off the chip
Fuck,
machine.
bro. I remember one time in Blinded, we played this fest and there was this band. I won't name the band, but they once upon a time got dressed up. Like we're wearing crazy shit. Like and we were opening the fest and I walked in to the bathroom and I'm like so nervous and I'm like, oh, I really need to shit right now. So and I go in there. And these guys are like putting on this weird makeup, and I just like I did the full like Grandpa Simpsons, like walked in and just went. but I don't know. Talk about people getting ready in the bathroom.
hey,
That's my story.
Holding court.
holding
What's
court.
Yeah.
All right. So now here's the actual voicemail that was left. That's a reasonable request for us to answer.
Hey Aaron, Otis, Solo, it's Keldon here from various Brisbane things. I'm here with my little boy Sock. Say hi, Sock.
It's a dog talking.
I think he said hi. I don't know if you can hear him. Anyway, I
notice
thought I'd start with a nice, easy discussionary question. Something that's always talked about in the vans and flights and whenever we're all together. Who is the best riffer in Australian hardcore? Let's hear it. Peace.
Love you, Keldon.
Thanks, Keldon.
Thanks for the proper message, unlike the other ones.
Every other one's fucking asshole moving on audio. Who is the best riffer in Australian hardcore?
Well, this is a hard one because.
What would you define as a riffer? Someone who
All
plays
right, let's
guitar?
define that first. Someone that plays guitar, but I think even just style can be cool.
I think so too.
Could like
Gig
technically
swag.
technical
swag,
shit.
yeah.
I don't care. Yeah, it's sick. Like I don't care about solos. Like that can fuck off. I don't whatever.
Yeah.
But like swag and just like who's playing the riff, like what the riffs are.
Yep.
I'm all about rhythm, baby. Palm
Me too.
muting all day.
I am a rhythm guitar player. That is my vibe.
Yeah.
Um,
And also like different gens here.
yeah, 100%. So I've thought about this, so I'll talk through mine because I've heard this before today.
And
I'll give you some time.
Did he
to
say
think.
Australian?
Yeah, Australian.
Okay.
So I would say my go-to, because of who I am and my experience with this, my go-to would be Beltsy, just because, I mean, I played a show with him 3 days ago, but this guy be riffing. He'd be up there working that fretboard.
Straight up.
He's all
I
over
thought
the
you
place.
might say that.
Yeah, which it checks out for me. So I would say, and I briefly had the fortune of playing in a band with him that never went anywhere. But when he asked me to play guitar in this band, that was basically just like, sounded like Danzig. Like it was just like a rock band, basically.
Awesome.
I think he thought I was like a much better guitar player than I am. Like, I think like I Exist had maybe like pulled the wool over his eyes, but like I was I was playing the easiest part of the 3 guitar band. Like I was playing the root notes, but I think
But that's what I'm talking about. Like
I can
it's
play
your
that.
vibe. You know?
Yeah. So
You were selling it.
Clearly I'd sold him on this image of me. And the first little riff session I had with Beltsy, he was like, all right, so what you're going to do, it's going to be like an A and then it's going to be like this. And I was immediately like, I don't know what any of that is, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Brother, what are you talking about? Give me the tab.
I'm sitting there like,
Give me numbers, brother.
Yeah.
like, oh, 3 fingers, is it? Okay.
Okay.
I'll get this one warmed up for you. But I like fully, in jamming with him, I was like, I became a better guitar player because I was like, oh, this guy's like he actually knows how to play guitar. He's like, he's just like knows chords. He knows this, he knows it because he's, you know,
Didn't he write like a book of music or something? Am I imagining this? I feel like Elliot was telling me that last.
I mean,
or
whatever he's done is dope as hell.
Yeah.
And the guy can play guitar. So he would be my number one, probably. And I'm talking hardcore. I have other opinions for metal and whatever.
Yeah, but like
That doesn't
metal
matter.
and hardcore is
very,
like,
very different. Yeah.
take the worst metal guitarist and the best hardcore guitarist. It's
There's
like
still a huge gap.
yeah, pretty much.
My other one would
Not
be
with Beltsy.
No.
my other one. Another older head would be Bursky from No
Bursky.
Apologies and stuff. But simply because, again, like I've had the fortune of like playing music with him, and he's another one who's like, I mean, he actually is a guitar teacher.
Sorry, I got confused. I think I'm thinking of Bursky that wrote the book of music.
Yeah, I mean that could be right.
Yeah.
But he is a straight up. He is a guitar teacher, so he's very good at that. But also, like, he is the first person that when I got into hardcore. No Apologies, particularly with the first band that I heard that had the stuff that I liked about like stoner metal. They were like putting it in hardcore songs, and I was like, "This fucking rocks!"
Yeah.
And then I found out I was like, "Oh, it's because they all like stoner metal,
Yeah.
and they're all like AC/DC heads."
They're all rockers.
But so those would be my picks to answer Kelvin's question.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go a completely different way.
Well, I've got one. It'll always be my number one.
Yeah.
Will always be my motherfucking brother, Josh Medina.
Oh yeah,
Those
Yes,
Warbrain
sir.
riffs.
Yeah.
Get out of here, brother.
Yeah, he's a
The
ripper.
bounce, like, but I'm a young guy, so I obviously grew up going and watching his bands play and shit like that. So like, and he was always someone that I felt was serious about, like.
Yeah.
You could tell, like, oh, he's
played it all. He played through the Carpathian pit to the Carpathian harmonic chord to the
not even that though, bro. Just the Warbrain fucking right hand, fucking noodly shit. That's to me that was like, when I was going to shows and hearing that, I was like, this is everything I want to hear. Like palm, but obviously, of the time, and
now he can make the hell out of a coffee.
dude, now he's palming fucking pour overs at fucking park.
It's still all in my right hand.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably watching this because he sends me photos of him watching. Like, dude, I can't believe you just said that. Like, but
So hi, Josh.
yeah, dude, he's up there for me. I'm trying to think who else. What are some other bands like?
Who else you got? Okay. Here's what before I go deep. Do you have an alternate?
I was going to say
opinion,
Josh
Pablo?
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say
There you
Josh
go.
as well.
That's our bro.
That's your bro. My other, I guess, thought on this would be is like, who have you enjoyed playing guitar with? That's the other side of it for me. Is like, who's a riffer that you've loved playing guitar with?
Well, it's hard, but and honestly, just because we've like jammed and shit a little bit, like Josh.
Yeah.
So like,
So he's knocking it out for you.
to me,
can never
his
hear
taste
this.
and my taste with like guitar riffs.
Yeah.
I'm talking like like whatever. Like we're kind of like Dying Fetus, like fucking.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone's fucking obsessed with Dying Fetus now.
Yeah. I listened to 3 full records today.
But like that shit, like, is fucking that's how we love that shit. But who else have I played guitar with?
I mean, my thing is like, I often get very, I get very gassed up at shows when I see people being like incredibly confident guitar players too. Like, doesn't matter if like you've got like the swag effect is what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
like if you know what you're playing and you're busting ass while you're playing it, you're the best guitar player in the world for me. Like, and I think that's why, like, I Hate God, my favorite band. The guy can play the shit out of a guitar for sure, but the music that band plays is like so dumb, but it rocks so hard because it's so dumb, and he has just like the best groove and swag and vibe when he's doing it. That it's like, that's the band. It's because of that.
Yeah.
And I think for me, as someone who plays guitar, like, that's all I care about. I don't care about the songs being hard or technical or whatever. I just want to be like vibing the whole time.
Yeah, true.
Like that's me playing guitar.
Yeah, miss me with solos, man. I'm just like,
I love them. I just don't know how to play them.
Yeah, well, like my solo is like a good lead. Like I want some sort of like, I guess
a part,
you know, like I'm never going to be like
fully
like
shredding.
Shredding. But what about, to extend the question, what about hardcore front people, singers, frontmen?
Okay, well, let's go the other way. Pablo, what do you reckon?
Hardcore frontman.
Yeah. I mean, we'll keep it to Australia.
Oh, we'll keep it to Australia?
Yeah. This is
I've got a couple.
Okay.
Well, here's an easy one. Jem.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I was just about to say.
Yeah. Like
you're crazy if you don't think Jem's one of the best. Like
probably, one of, if not the best Australian frontman.
And that's just more of a vibe of like.
Of course.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. It's just
the way he commands
the swag
a crowd.
effect. Yeah, as we're calling it. Yeah, the way he commands a crowd, the way he comes across, it's just swag. 100% swag.
Right. What do you got?
I would go with, I think Nathan's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he does is really good. Like, just his vibe. He's very sort of low key, just kind of.
His voice is awesome too.
Voice is awesome, doesn't say too much, but like, vibes out. I think Boehner is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, his
Boehner
voice
is one of the
crazy.
best in Australia ever.
His voice is insane.
It's crazy.
Truly insane.
Who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing people.
That's all right, mate. You've filled in. You've done it well. I would say of people that right now, Mickey from Jailed is like my favorite vibeman because he's just going bonkers on it. And it's funny for me I've known him for such a long time and he's played in lots of different bands and has never lost that. I also love my man, Tom Sweetman. And how he's
100%. How could I fucking forget?
Yes.
So it's a little shout out to Tom. But again, this is funny for me because I've known a lot of these guys for a long time, but not known them to do certain things that they do now.
Yeah.
And that's like a little old head thing, but like seeing people grow into the bands that they're in, it fucking rocks. Like seeing like, and again, we're speaking specifically like in that frame. I'm speaking of like newer stuff, obviously, but at the same time, I don't want to say the same fucking old bands. Everyone's seen all them before,
there's like some defaults you're gonna go to.
I've already talked about Beltsy, so that's fine. I don't need to go any older.
Funny story about Sweetman is like, cause they're from Perth and like you catch them. If you catch them once a year, you're like stoked. Anyone from Perth,
best thing ever.
And so this isn't a me and Akira story because so we had never met Sweetman.
Yeah.
And we just know him as, he's the legend from Perth. He does all the designs and he plays in a sick band. So when we met him for the first time, his voice was like fully gone. Like I think he had just had COVID. So
was that here?
It was here. So he came
that
here.
show here.
And
the show we played?
Probably, it was probably that one. But like we
upstairs, that show?
No, Northcote down.
Northcote Social.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like, and he's sing like we're talking to him or whatever, and he's singing, and he's like, my voice is fucked. But we just didn't know what his voice sounded like for ages. So like we were just like, dude, we met Sweetman, but like, what is his voice? What does he sound like? And he's like, fuck man, my voice is really fucked. And we're like, dude, we'll never know what Sweetman sounds like. So then we go to Perth and we meet him, and it wasn't far off his. He's got a very like
raspy tone
voice, but I was kind of like, fuck, what does he sound like? But anyway, that's my Sweetman story.
I mean, but speaking of being a good frontman, like in between songs that show, he was just like unable to speak, but then they would start a song and it was like perfect. It sounded
dude,
awesome.
it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He'd be sorry for my voice and and we'd be like, dude,
that's the
you
best way to
killed
do
it, man.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's the brief intro or the brief rundown of the call in. So we spoke pipe on the pod.
We speak in pipe.
Once again, I'll advertise speakpipe.com/Oblivious Maximus. Link in bio. Again, if you send me a fart, I'll play it, but just own up to it or otherwise I won't play it. And if you send some funny things, great. If you want to send nothing, fuck yourself. We didn't do this last time. You guys are AWOL announced some cool shit this week.
Yes.
Today. As we're filming this.
Yep. Talk about it. Plug your things.
Yeah. We announced today that we're going to be playing some shows on the East Coast of the United States of America.
Yeah.
So we're going to, it's fucking awesome. We're playing with Regulate, Day by Day, and the Ox. All up the East Coast in October. And then from there, heading off and touring with Tsunami in Texas and the West Coast. So very excited about that. That's, obviously a dream come true. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Akira was about to bust it out in that pod we did with him.
I don't know why I think he was kind of like, oh, maybe it won't happen. Like, I gotta make sure that it's locked in. Don't want to speak too soon, even though it's like a week away or whatever. Yeah. But
it was firmly confirmed.
I think being from Australia, you're always waiting for like, oh fuck, like, actually you're not on this anymore or whatever it is.
Until the flyer comes out.
Yeah. It might. I still have that in my brain.
Yeah.
I'm not saying shit until the flyers up.
Yeah, dude.
Literally.
Anything else for AWOL in the cards? Other than that, when is that? Like in weeks, right?
Like
in
6 weeks.
October, November.
Yeah,
okay.
October, November.
So like end of October. And then we're playing Kingpin Fest in next week.
In a couple of weeks, yeah. So Kingpin Fest.
This will be on the internet by then.
Yeah, and that's probably our last show here, unless we do something December that we don't know about as of now.
I bought a little camera thing to do man on the street shit at Kingpin Fest. So
that's awesome.
Maybe Otis getting around.
Are we going to harass some people? At the
another round at the
punters
in St Kilda.
Yeah. And when's Solo back? Is this my last one?
No, I think we'll do another one with you and Solo.
Oh. Yeah. Well, Otis has to be a permanent third mic now, sure.
Yeah. No, maybe we can do a little voting thing on Instagram. Like, does he get one more rep or do we get rid of him? Like, are we done? Are we sick of him? Because like, I don't want to stay too long.
Speak pipe on Otis.
Yeah.
Whether
speak pipe, get rid of him, or all my fucking tricks are almost
No, but gone. I reckon we'll definitely do one with you with Ben. I think Ben actually got back. If he's not back right now, he gets back tomorrow. So he's
we need to know what that guy's been at, because we've been talking nonstop since he's been.
Oh yeah, and
Solo needs to be a guest on his own podcast.
Yeah, maybe we can do that. That would.
I think that's kind of the idea.
Cat's out of the bag, guys.
Damn.
He'd been over there doing like a zillion shows. So
I feel like he's been gone for a year.
Yeah, me too. I used to see him every fucking day.
Yeah, and I've replaced.
Now I see you every 3 days.
Dude, I was thinking of like I had this idea in my head. I'm like, one episode, I'm just gonna dress up as Solo and pretend I'm Solo the whole episode.
Maybe
that's
the next one.
Okay, mustache is coming out, boys. Got a couple jokes up my sleeve as well.
Here we go. Dope. All right, nothing else to promote from your end, Pablo?
No, I don't think so. No.
Follow video work where?
Any HCMI.
Follow that if you want. AWOL.
Dope. Me, Aglo's playing Obliteration Fest in Perth in October. Go to that. Nothing else.
Where is that? Melbourne?
Linnet's Lounge and then Milk Bar in Perth.
Oh, Perth.
2-day thingo. Chain playing one of them.
Sick.
Jail playing them. James from Engage is playing guitar for Aglo.
Right. We were talking about that last week.
Rocks ass. So doing that. I don't think I'll get this on the internet before Extortion plays in Tasmania on the weekend, but if I do, come see Extortion in Hobart. Otherwise, leave us a speak pipe. Drink a liquid death. And thanks heaps for being here, lads.
Thank you, Pablo.
No worries, guys.
See ya.
Let's
Bye.
eat Indian food.